Hey, it's going well. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. On such notice, a day notice, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Hip artist, R&B artist, singer, songwriter, producer, a triple threat. Goes by the name of MTStreets. Very happy to have him on. Uh, you have. I just started to listen to your music today. It sounds dope. Sounds amazing. Jill told me.
Thank you so much.
Jill told me a lot about you musically, and you know, Jill speaks highly of a music artist. She turns out to be correct. So, uh,
Yeah,
so
of course, Joel.
she has a very good track record. Let's put it that way. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so definitely get into your music and everything. I know you got a music video coming up. Uh, so we'll get into that in just a moment. But first things first, how did you get into music?
Oh man, I was brought into it when I was just a kid. I started playing piano when I was 10 years old, and then my little brother got into it, and we started doing stuff together. And how could we make money from this? And we were like, oh, let's try this producing thing. And so I started producing. I started making beats from the knowledge I learned on the piano. And one thing led to another thing, and we moved to Hollywood, started, playing out here and doing shows and stuff. And so we just kind of came into the music game together.
So, were there any like artists out there that influenced you, inspired you, whether it's mainstream, and those that stood out to you?
Yeah, one of the artists that really inspired us was Cicero from Mafia. He ended up um, he ended up teaching us a lot of what I know now, like kind of in the producing game. He produced my brother's first album. It's called Never Comfortable. It drops August 22nd, and that's produced by. So he's a just talented producer with some cool melodies. I mean, I was coming up listening to more of the pop stuff. Like I like Maroon 5, Post Malone, kind of appealing to me too. So I was listening to various genres of stuff, and I had phases where I would dive into more alternative rock, and I started liking the art and those kinds of bands like Cake. But I nowadays I've really been diving into a lot of the mainstream sounding artists like Drake and Post Malone and and all of them. Just because the more what my ears starting to like.
So you got a record out. Um, Open Thoughts is out on all digital music platforms. I a little bit early today as I got home from work, listening, just getting a feel to your music. Sounds
Yeah.
very very good. Good feels to it, good vibes and everything. What was it like recording this record? And what to name it?
So this album that I just made was an album that took a loss to create. It's because it's an album that specifically will walk you through the months of last year of 2019. So the start of the album, right? The first song would take place in the month of January, and then it'll go down to the last, actually called December, and it takes you down kind of a journey of what happened to me personally, starting with telling you which is kind of being more optimistic as a group, being NBF a collective, and so we had possibilities in the beginning of that year. So that was just kind of a cool start to it. Going through the album, kind of what inspired me to make it was because I felt like I had such a crazy year, you know. So I had a roommate pass away in February of last year, and then I had, you know, couple grandparents pass away, and then my brother died in December, and I felt like this journey of emotional ups and downs, the only way I was able to get through it was with music, and these songs that I was creating, I was like, I should put these together into an album to kind of tell my story, and after that, so I put it kind of that made me feel like, okay, this is exactly where it needs to go. This is the vibe of the month that I was really living, and that's kind of out there. Because when you listen to a song, you always have to feel a certain way when you're listening to the song. So my goal was so that when you listen to the song, you pick up the vibe that I got during that month. That was kind of the idea of the album.
That is absolutely heartbreaking. With all that's happened to the family, I hope everyone is recovering and moving forward and everything. It's just, to lose a family member, to lose anybody is devastating, but to lose the people that you did in a time span, that has to take a toll mentally, emotionally. Um,
Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm just grateful that I was able to really use it in such a positive way.
yeah, definitely. I definitely sense that emotion on this record, and thing about music is that it's therapy for a lot of people. Whether you're an artist, you're a listener, and you it's relatable for the most part, and it's all put together and see the good turnout that it has. It's a good body of work musically. So it's definitely something that you can hear, that you can listen to, that you can enjoy. You can be a little emotional, relatable. Definitely worth listening for sure. Open Thoughts by MT Streets is out on all digital music platforms. Go stream it, go purchase it. And with all the artists that's not able to perform, not able to travel for a while, definitely will be very helpful if you music. Definitely give them a help. So definitely worth the listen for sure. So I see on one of your Instagram posts that you're going to be shooting the music video for Bourbon Street, and that will be placed August the 1st.
Yeah, yeah, August 1st.
So talk about this song in particular. Um, what was it like recording the this song? What made you decide to shoot a music video for this particular?
So I was just hanging out with some friends, like I usually do. Just hanging out in the studio. Threw on. I started making some beats, and I think I made this melody and ended up having it with this program, and it sounded super cool. And I said, well, like, what, And so we started grooving, and we caught a really sick vibe from it. One thing led to another thing. I ended up, spitting the hook. My friend actually hopped on the version of that song because it was supposed to be just kind of like a fun song to, mess around to. But he ended up doing that, and then after the track was over, we heard it back. I was like, "Yo, this it might be something I actually want to drop and take seriously." And he was like, "All right, yeah, throw me off. He's just a producer and really do the whole artist work." And I ended up doing the second verse. I had art girl Courtney Lewis do more of my cover art for it, and I said, "Listen, I want to drop this, pretty soon. Time feel I kind of want to out," and so we did that. I posted it to Instagram, and then the song started taking off in a different way. Like I saw it starting to gain a lot more little application that seeing that, oh man, 21 people are listening to it like right now. I'm like, oh my god, that's cool. That's cool. I feel like I should shoot a video to it because it's getting more traction, than the other stuff that I was putting out. So I was like, yeah, let's shoot a video. Why not? So I was like, hey, she works with just let's shoot videos for Bourbon Street, and she was like, that's a great idea. So that's gonna happen on August 1st, and then it's come out relatively soon after that.
So definitely go give it a listen, get a good feel, get yourself a nice visual. Definitely a lot of alcohol, I can predict. So Kentucky, that's what we known for. We know for the bourbon. I get it.
Yes, sir.
It's out there. So definitely get yourself a listen to Bourbon Street. Music video will be shot next weekend actually. So keep a music video a few weeks after. Nice way to end the summer. It has to be you live in California. I'm sensing it's gotta be 90-esque type of weather currently.
It's up there. I mean, it's like 98, 99. In LA, it's to like 100.
Yeah, it feels like LA and Arizona are like family members with weather.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up I was in Cincinnati for a bit, San Diego for a bit. There are parts of San Diego that get super hot. New York gets super hot, too.
Okay, Cincinnati as in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, I grew up in San Diego for the first 10 years of my life.
Okay, I'm familiar with that city. I lived there for 7 years back in the 90s. I love the city.
Nice.
Love the city. I love the city. And I do love the Cincinnati Reds, who good start right now. Go Reds. Just thought I So man, let's talk about the producing side. So, as far as obviously people have different approach to not just making beats to people. You got beats available to sell on your website. On what's your approach as far as just working on a beat and trying to figure out how this beat fit for certain artists based on genre or whatever the case? What's your approach as far as making beats?
My approach as far as making beats is just kind of like, I'll get into the studio when I have a melody. I'll go to the studio in my apartment, and then, I'll start making a beat, and if it's good, or if I think it's, good enough, I'll put it up on my website usually, and it's MTStreets.com, and you could check out some songs on there. You can check out beats on there. You can check out a lot of the lyrics that I wrote on there as well. Every beat's a different beat. Some days I want to make something, that goes super hard in the club, and some days I want to make something that's more emotional. And so it depends whatever mood I'm in. I can just kind of create whatever vibe I want to create. But at the end of the day, the most important part of making a beat is the vibe. I mean, you have to get the vibe right. You have to have, certain lights in the studio and certain things that certain people around you, so that way it's just a steady flow, steady workflow. There's no, frustrations or nothing. It's helpful to, hang out with people too, because if you get writers, they can help. And so, collab with other producers, everything's to do. So a lot of times they ask me, oh, MT, hop on the keys. And I'm like, all right, hop on the keys, you hop on the drums. We can crank out 10 beats and like, call it a night. And a lot of times it's just how you start doing things.
Also, you can buy on the website MTStreets.com. That's MTStreets.com. You also can get more info on his new upcoming shows, especially when things eventually start to reopen. I know California had things open and then were being closed again. But just, keep it out. At least you get to shoot the music video for Bourbon Street and keep things going with that. Um, and all the music there, digital music forms is out there. Go listen to Open Thoughts. That's the record. Bourbon Street is the song music video that's out right now. The song that is. And MP, man, great chatting with you. Again, thank you for being on the show on a day's notice. Big shout out to Jill Nation for making that happen. My ace for real. So shout out to Jill and shout
out to Jill for real.
And shout out to you as well, man. Thanks for being on the show.